John Smith, a name we've changed for privacy, believes he is owed a settlement, a large one. And he's not talking millions, he's talking quadrillions. Why? Smith claims he's a psychic. He says his mind has been violated, his thoughts intruded upon for over 40 years. The culprit? Technology. Technology wielded by powerful entities. Smith isn't a tech expert. He doesn't claim to understand the mechanics of how this alleged intrusion was carried out, but he feels it. He's certain of it. And he's put a price on his suffering, 100 pennies for every instance of violation, multiplied by 500 billion. A staggering sum, a figure that speaks to the perceived depth of his violation. His case, if it ever sees the inside of a courtroom, would force us to confront uncomfortable questions. What happens when the lines between technology, privacy, and the human mind blur? Can our innermost thoughts be trespassed upon? And if so, what is the legal recourse? Smith's story, however unusual, is a stark reminder. Our relationship with technology is evolving, and with that evolution comes a host of ethical and legal dilemmas we're only beginning to grapple with. Technology has always been a double-edged sword. It can connect us, empower us, and improve our lives in countless ways. But it also has the potential to be used for nefarious purposes. Throughout history, we've witnessed this duality play out. Governments and corporations have, at times, exploited technology. Their goal? To spy on citizens, stifle dissent, and manipulate behavior. The Cold War saw the rise of surveillance technologies. These technologies were often deployed in the name of national security. Think of wiretapping, hidden microphones, and covert surveillance programs. These programs often crossed ethical lines. They infringed upon the privacy of innocent individuals. The digital revolution has only amplified these concerns. The internet, while a powerful tool for communication and information sharing, has also become a breeding ground for new forms of surveillance. Social media platforms, search engines, and other online services collect vast amounts of data about our lives. Often, this data collection happens without our knowledge or consent. At the heart of Smith's claim is a deep-seated mistrust. He doesn't just believe his mind has been invaded. He believes this intrusion is part of a larger, more sinister pattern of behavior. He points his finger at several entities. He sees them as complicit in this alleged conspiracy against him. First, there's the American police. Smith believes they're corrupt. He claims they've been weaponized against him. He sees them as actively working to silence him and discredit his claims. Then there's the black community. Smith levels a range of accusations against this group. He alleges their involvement in illegal activities, their control over technology, and their harmful actions directed at him. These accusations are inflammatory. They lack any concrete evidence, but they highlight the depth of Smith's suspicions. Finally, there's the government itself. Smith doesn't hold back. He accuses government agencies, particularly intelligence agencies like the CIA and NSA, of being deeply implicated in the alleged psychic violations. He believes they're engaged in a massive cover-up. They're trying to hide their actions from the public. Smith's case, should it ever go to trial, would present a unique challenge for the legal system. How do you prove a crime that leaves no physical trace? How do you present evidence of an intrusion that exists solely within the realm of the human mind? This isn't a case of stolen documents or hacked computer systems. This is about the alleged theft of thoughts, feelings, and memories. The burden of proof would rest squarely on Smith's shoulders. He would need to convince a jury that his experiences are not delusions or hallucinations, but rather the result of external technological manipulation. This would require more than just his testimony. He would need to present compelling evidence to support his claims. This could include expert testimony from neuroscientists, psychologists, or technology specialists who can speak to the feasibility of such technology and its potential effects on the human brain. He might also need to provide evidence of a motive. Why would these entities target him? What could they possibly gain by accessing his thoughts? Section 5. Echoes in the courtroom, parallels and precedents. While the specific nature of Smith's claims might seem unprecedented, there are echoes of his case in other legal battles. Over the years, numerous lawsuits have been filed against governments and corporations for unlawful surveillance and data breaches. These cases highlight growing concerns about the erosion of privacy in the digital age. Take, for instance, the class action lawsuit filed against the U.S. government in 2025. The lawsuit alleged that the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE agency, had illegally withheld hundreds of millions of dollars in bond payments from immigrants and their families. This case, while not directly related to technology, underscored the potential for government agencies to misuse their power and violate individual rights. In another case, victims of a massive data breach at the Office of Personnel Management, or OPM, filed a lawsuit against the government. The breach, which occurred in 2015, exposed the personal information of millions of government employees and contractors. This case highlighted the vulnerability of personal data in the digital age and the potential for significant harm in the event of a breach. Section 6. The Digital Panopticon: Privacy in the Age of Surveillance. Smith's case, regardless of its legal merits, forces us to confront an unsettling reality. We live in an age of unprecedented surveillance. The digital tools and technologies we use every day have also become tools of monitoring. Our online activities, our physical movements, even our private conversations, are no longer beyond the reach of those who might seek to collect and exploit them. Governments around the world are investing heavily in surveillance technologies, often justifying their use in the name of national security or crime prevention. But the line between legitimate security measures and invasive surveillance is becoming increasingly blurred. Corporations, too, are collecting vast amounts of data on our online and offline behavior. This data is used to target us with advertising, personalize our online experiences, and even influence our decisions. While some might argue that these practices are harmless, others worry about the erosion of privacy and the potential for manipulation. Section 7. The Burden of Proof: Navigating the Legal Labyrinth. Should John Smith decide to pursue his case, he faces an uphill battle. The legal system, for all its complexities, is still largely ill-equipped to handle claims of this nature. Proving psychic intrusion, especially one that allegedly spans decades, is a daunting task. It would require a level of scientific evidence and legal precedent that currently doesn't exist. Smith would need to convince a jury that his experiences are not the result of mental illness, but rather the deliberate actions of external forces. This would require expert testimony from credible sources who can speak to the validity of his claims and the plausibility of the technology he believes is being used against him. Furthermore, he would need to establish a clear chain of causation. He would need to demonstrate how the actions of the accused parties directly led to the alleged psychic intrusions. This would require a level of forensic investigation that goes beyond traditional methods of evidence gathering. Section 8. Justice in the Balance: Seeking Redress for Invisible Wounds. Smith's quest for justice highlights a fundamental challenge facing our legal system. How do we address harms that are not easily quantifiable or visible? How do we provide redress for violations that leave no physical scars but can nonetheless have a devastating impact on an individual's life? The legal system is largely built on tangible evidence and demonstrable harm. It's designed to address crimes that leave a clear trail of evidence, such as physical assault, theft, or fraud. Psychic intrusion, by its very nature, defies these traditional categories. It exists in a realm beyond the reach of conventional legal frameworks. If Smith's case were to proceed, it would force us to grapple with these uncomfortable questions. It would demand that we expand our understanding of harm and consider the possibility that some violations cannot be measured in purely physical or financial terms. Section 9. The Future of Privacy: Safeguarding the Mind in a Digital Age. John Smith's story, whether rooted in reality or delusion, serves as a stark reminder of the stakes involved in our increasingly digital world. As technology advances, so too does the potential for misuse and abuse. We are rapidly approaching a future where the lines between our physical and digital selves become increasingly blurred. The very essence of who we are, our thoughts, memories, and emotions, could become vulnerable to intrusion and manipulation in ways we are only beginning to comprehend. Safeguarding our minds in this brave new world will require a multifaceted approach. We need stronger legal protections for our digital privacy. We need greater transparency and accountability from governments and corporations that collect and use our data. And perhaps most importantly, we need to cultivate a greater awareness of the potential risks associated with our reliance on technology. The future of privacy, in many ways, hinges on our ability to strike a balance. We must harness the power of technology while also safeguarding the fundamental human right to privacy and autonomy. John Smith's case, however unusual, is a stark reminder of what's at stake. It's a call to action for all of us to become more vigilant guardians of our digital lives.